Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? I hope so. Y'all, let's get into part 8 of the $1,000,000 deception. And where we left off at was with Nate telling Freddy that he needed him to tell Lewis that somebody bought the taxes from up under them. He needs 50K or they gonna get put out. Lewis really didn't want to do it, but that's his boy, so he was looking out for him, right? So Nate picked Monica up from work to take her to the building that he said his friend had. Monica was walking around the building, and you could tell that she was working out in her head what she could do with the space. Nate asked her what did she think about it, and she said that she loved it and that he could tell his guy that she would take it. Nate said that he didn't have to do that because he already bought it. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Nate, I want the building, but I can't take this from you. How much was it? I'm going to write you a check right now. Are you sure you have that much in the bank? Nate, out of all people, you know how much money I have. Well, listen, give me a week to have my people to look over the paperwork, and then you can write me the check. Okay, but after that, I am going to pay you. She gave Nate a hug and told him that the Kenny Corporation better watch out because he was about to have some competition. Now over there with Lewis, he was at the bank taking out the 50K. He was so nervous about it because he thought that security was going to stop him for stealing. He made it back to the truck and Freddy asked him if he got it. Yeah, man, but tomorrow, right? The day after at least. That's what you said. Lewis, I promise. I promise that I'll give it back to you tomorrow or the day after at the latest. Lewis was hesitant and he wanted to take the money back in the bank, but he gave it to Freddy. 2 hours later, Freddy was at Nate's house giving him the money. Freddy walked into the den and watched Nate put the money in a safe, and he was trying to peek over Nate's shoulder to see what was all in there, and he couldn't see much, but he did see a few stacks of money. Nate asked Freddy if he wanted to see something, and he pulled out some paperwork. Nate opened up a contract and pointed at it. That's the address to the house I showed you. That's my name as seller, and your name as buyer. Freddy couldn't help but smile, and he thought about how proud his mom and kid would be about this house. Nate stuck the contract back into the safe and told Freddy to give it another week, and everything should be over. And at that time, the house would be his. Then they shook hands, and Freddy left feeling a little bit more comfortable now. So the next morning at work, Lewis asked Freddy if his mom's insurance check came, and Freddy said that the mail didn't come until the afternoon, but he did tell his mom to give him a call as soon as she got it. After work, Freddy told Lewis that the check hadn't come, but it would be there tomorrow for sure. The next day, Freddy wasn't at work, and Lewis found that suspicious because it wasn't Freddy's day off. And Lewis thought that it was mighty funny being that it was the last day that Freddy was supposed to give him the money. Around 2 p.m., Lewis called Freddy, but he got his voicemail, and he was starting to get nervous. So he decided to stop by his house, but there was no answer. So Lewis went home, and he was so paranoid that he avoided Monica at all costs. So the next day around 8 that night, he stopped by Freddy's house again. And this time his mom answered the door. He said that he was stopping by to check on Freddy since he hadn't been, at work the last few days. And his mom said that he wasn't there, but he left earlier. She just didn't know where he was at that time. But Kia was there and he asked if he could say hi to her. And she said that it was fine. And, she was like, I'm glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. Lewis really wanted to ask Freddy's mom about that insurance check, but he decided against it because he felt like that wasn't his business. So he went downstairs to talk to Kia, and he asked her if Freddy had told her anything that was going on between them, and she said no. But Lewis could tell that something was off with her, and he was hoping that she would tell him something, but she was looking like she wanted to, but she just told him that she'll tell Freddy that he stopped by. So the next day over at Nate's house, Monica was washing dishes because she made dinner for them. And the day before, she took them out for ice cream. And they went to their favorite park and everything. It had been 3 days since Freddy had dropped the money off to him. And he was surprised that Monica had noticed that the money was missing. And Nate thought that it was probably because she had just checked her account. And he wanted to bring it up, but he was enjoying the time that they were spending together. Plus, he could tell that she was becoming closer and closer to saying that she'll come back to him. He asked her why was she spending so much time with them, but she said that she really didn't know why, but she was enjoying it. And Lewis doesn't mind you being gone as much as you are. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm tired of guessing, and I just really want to enjoy this time. Then the phone started ringing. Nate didn't want to get it, but Monica told him that it was fine. Nate already had an idea of who it was, and it was Daphne, but he didn't answer it. He didn't even return her calls from the day before. So he told Monica that it was somebody who was trying to sell him something. So when he went back into the kitchen, Monica told him that nothing had changed as far as leaving Lewis. She said that she loved Nathaniel. She might even be developing feelings for him. Nate asked her to stay over one night just to see how it felt to be there with him and his son as a family. Monica wasn't sure about that, but she said that she would think about it and that she was leaning towards, spending the night. So the next night around 9:30, there was a knock at Nate's door and it was Freddy. Nate looked at his watch trying to figure out what was Freddy doing there that late. Freddy, what are you doing here? It is 9:30 at night. What do you mean? What am I supposed to do? When is this going to be over? I've been faking sick, missing work, Lewis ringing my line 1,000 times and stopping by my house. Listen, man, I don't think I can continue with this. Just give me the money back. Nate could tell how disheveled Freddy looked. Freddy was even in the same clothes that he had on like 3 days ago. So Nate told him, just give it a little more time. She hasn't been checking her account. And once she do, it's all going to be over. It's like, because there's no giving the money back. You're in this now. Do you understand that? Yeah, I understand it, but I can't take this, man. Nate told Freddy that it wouldn't last much longer. Just stay out of sight and wait to hear from me. Everything is going to happen as planned in a day or two. I'll get her to notice the missing money and then it'll be over. Freddy was on the verge of a breakdown, and he let Nate know that he couldn't keep this up. Freddy, you're getting a brand new house. You'll be able to move your family out of that trash tail neighborhood. Your family will never have to worry about their safety again, and you'll never have to worry about them. You're having a baby who's going to be born soon. Don't you care about that? But you know what? You want it to end? You don't want the house? And you want the money back? Follow me. Let's go get it. Nate started walking off, but he noticed that Freddy wasn't behind him. Nate looked back and asked, so you coming or not? Nah, I need this for my family. That's right. And that's what I want to hear. And when all this is over, you'll know you made the right decision. Nate walked Freddy out and told him the moment something happens, he'll let Freddy know. Nate closed the door and watched Freddy drive off. Then he went back upstairs and got in the bed. Then Monica asked him who was it and was everything okay. Yeah, it was just my neighbor who was letting me know that he was about to head on out of town and he was dropping off his keys. Child. So Lewis thought Monica was in Detroit with Tabitha because that's where she said she was going to look at a new property. And he was glad that she was gone. The way that he was so relieved that he didn't have to continue ducking and dodging her all day. But he checked the account where he took that $50K out about 5 days ago, and he knew that that money had to get back in that account by tomorrow. So Freddy was now home, but his mind was all over the place. Kia asked him if he was hungry, and he popped off on her for no reason. She could tell that something was bothering him, so she walked over to him and said, "You never told me what happened after you told that man that you wouldn't help him anymore." Freddy said that he tried to tell him, but he offered him a house. And you believe him? Yes, it's going to happen. All I have to do is sell your friend outright. Kia asked Freddy did he even know what was going to happen to Lewis after all of it was over. Freddy said that he'd probably lose Monica, but since he was on the verge of losing her anyway, it really wasn't a big deal. Freddy said, but at least they get a new life, a new start. But you lose your best friend, Freddy, and you okay with that? God damn it, Kia, I have no choice. Kia pulled away from him and said, maybe my father was right. Maybe you're not the man I thought you were. So the next morning, over at Nate's house, he woke up out of a dream that scared the mess out of him. He thought somebody was in the house, and it made him get out of bed and look around. He heard the shower going and knew that Monica was in there, but after looking around the house and out the window and not seeing anything, he went back and got into bed. He was so tired he could feel himself falling back to sleep. But through his heavy eyes, he could swear he saw somebody standing at the foot of his bed. He knew it wasn't Daphne because the smell of the perfume in the room wasn't hers. So he was certain that it wasn't her. But neither him nor the woman that he thought he saw standing at the foot of that bed said anything. Then he heard Monica saying, Nate, I said, are you all right? Do you not hear me talking to you? Nate woke up and apologized. He was like, I don't know. I feel like I was in a dream or something. Then he gave her a kiss and asked her how was she feeling. I'm feeling guilty about staying over here, but this will be the last time until I figure out what Lewis and I are going to do with our situation. But I know I can't do that while seeing you. It wouldn't be fair to him. Well, I guess I can understand that, but do me a favor. If you decide not to be with Lewis, will you let me know? Sure, Nate, I will let you know. Now I have to go, okay? So now it has almost been a week and Lewis was back at Freddy's house trying to get some answers. His mother told him that he wasn't there. She said that he should be at work. Lewis thanked her and he was headed to the truck and he heard somebody say, psst, psst. He looked around and he saw Kia standing at the side door. Lewis, come here. Lewis ran over to her because he could tell that she was trying to hide. You're not going to find Freddy, Lewis. He knows that you're looking for him. He's been hiding. Hiding? For what? Listen, I don't know all the details, but the other night he told me that a man is blackmailing him and making him do things against you. What? What man? Who is it? I don't know, Lewis. He just said if things went the way the man wanted, then Monica would leave you and put you and Layla out. As soon as Lewis heard that, he knew exactly who Kia was talking about. Kia, I don't believe you. Freddy is my friend. He won't do me like that. I didn't think he would either, Lewis, but he said the man promised him a house. Listen, I'm sorry, Lewis. I didn't want to be the one to have to tell you this because I thought that he would. Lewis gave Kia a hug and thanked her. He asked her where could he find Freddy, and Kia said that he should be at work by now. But you need to hurry because I don't think he'll be there all day. And Lewis, when you find him, tell him I won't be here and not to come looking for me. And despite what Lewis had just found out, Lewis felt sorry for his best friend at that moment because he was losing the first woman he ever truly loved. So over at the job, Freddy is standing in the alley behind his uncle's management company. He was on the phone with Nate asking him when was he going to tell Monica about the missing money. Nate said that he was going to do it that day, but Freddy didn't hear much of anything else he said because he heard a noise behind him. And when he turned around, Lewis called him in the jaw, which made Freddy fall into some cardboard boxes. Lewis grabbed Freddy by his shirt and was about to pop him again. He asked him what was up with the money. Freddy started trying to talk about the insurance check and Lewis told him not to lie. But I ain't lying, Lewis. Yes, you are. Kia told me about the man who was blackmailing you. Is it Nate? Lewis, man, listen, I don't want to hear shit. Was it Nate? Yeah, Lewis, it was Nate. Freddy, why are you doing this to me, man? I ain't want to, Lewis, but he's the one who bought the taxes on my house and he said that he was going to put us out. I don't care what he was going to do to you. You my friend, man. You could have came to me and we could have ran a play on it. You said you always have my back and this what you do to me? I'm sorry, Lewis. It's just that. No, there ain't no it's just that. You know what you can just do? You can just give me the money back so that I can put it back in Monica's account. And I don't ever have to say to you ever again, give me the mother money, Freddy. Give me the money. I can't because I don't have the money. He has it and he ain't giving it back. He's going to tell Monica about it today so that she can put you and Layla out. Freddy! Why, man? Like, why? You got to tell me something. Listen. You can get it back. He has it at his house in a safe. You can go over there, take it, and put it back into Monica's account. I could go with you. I don't want you going nowhere with me. And if this don't turn out right, I will never forgive you, Freddy. Now, over there with Nate. Nate was at home about to call Monica and tell her that he was ready to go ahead with the sale of her building and he needed her to make sure that the funds were available. But just as he was about to make the call, Mrs. Weatherly came and told him that he had a guest, but the lady wouldn't say who she was. Nate started walking down the hall and he could hear Nathaniel laughing and he figured that it was Monica trying to surprise him. But when he got to the front, it was Daphne. Her suitcases were at the front door, her hair was cut differently, and she was on the sofa tickling Nathaniel. Nate was shocked because she didn't let him know that she was coming home early. But then he thought about all the calls she had made that he never returned. Nate walked up to her trying to be, as enthused as he could, and he gave her a hug. She told him that she had tried to call, but she didn't receive an answer. Nate could tell something was off, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Nate apologized for being so busy. He asked her if she wanted to go get something to eat, but Daphne said that she was fine, but she would take some water. He went to go get her water, and when he looked back at her, he saw her rubbing her temples as though something was really bothering her. Nate poured her some water and just stood there for a minute. Then he thought back to the moment that he hugged her, and he was like, no, that couldn't be it. No way. That ain't it. So Nate walked back into the living room and gave Daphne her water, but she no longer wanted it. She said that she just wanted to shower and take a nap. And when she walked past him, the smell of her perfume caught his attention. And that's when it clicked and he realized that his dream wasn't a dream. When Daphne approached the stairs, Nate said, "It wasn't a dream, was it? It was really you?" When Daphne turned around, her face was wet with tears. Daphne asked Nate who was the woman in bed with him and for him to tell her that it was only a one-time thing. Nate knew that he could say everything that Daphne wanted to hear, but he knew that he'd be lying because he did love Monica. So he told Daphne that they needed to end their relationship. And after about an hour of Daphne gathering her things and Nate watching her get in her car, he turned to go in the house. And then he felt the barrel of a Nina pressed to the side of his head. Who's in the house? Nobody. My son and his nanny, they in the guest house. Lewis forced Nate into the den and told him to remove that oil painting. But Nate wanted to know what was he talking about. And Lewis was not up for all that old talking, so he struck Nate across the top of his head with the butt of the Nina and told him to get up because he knew what he was up to. Nate wanted to know who told him, and Lewis said, "The man you've been blackmailing." Nate shook his head because he knew that he would have to deal with Freddy later. Lewis told Nate to do exactly what he said or he was going to pop his head. But Nate, he wasn't fazed. He told Lewis that he wasn't going to do anything because he'd go to jail and no one would be there to take care of his daughter. He told him he could take the money and try to put it back into Monica's account before she found out if she hadn't already. But it was over for him. Lewis told him to let him worry about that. All he needed to be focusing on was opening up that safe and giving him that $50K back. So Monica made it home and she was surprised that Lewis wasn't there. She had planned on going in and sitting down with him so that, they could figure out their future. But as she was walking up her walkway, she saw the older woman and the old Ford parked across the street. But this time the woman wasn't sitting in the car, she was walking towards her. The woman introduced herself as Bertrice Thompson, and she told Monica something that had her stunned. The woman told her that her daughter could not have kids of her own because of a medical condition, and she and her husband was ready to adopt Layla. But Monica told the lady that Layla was never up for adoption. But Miss Thompson said that last year her father, Louis Waters, had put her up for adoption, that her daughter and son-in-law had gone through the whole process and everything. Louis had even brought the girl over and let her spend a couple of weekends with them. Monica didn't believe her and said that Louis would never give his daughter up for adoption. So the woman told Monica that she could come with her and talk to her daughter. "I'm not going anywhere with you. I don't even know you." And what are you talking about? Please, if you knew what it was like to not be able to have children and then get this close to having one, you might understand how important this was to my daughter. And when Monica heard that, she told Mrs. Thompson that she would follow her in her own car. So they made it to her daughter's house, and her daughter Barbara told Monica the same story that her mama did. They even had lots of pictures and everything from the times that they spent with Layla. Barbara took Monica up to the room that they had prepared for Layla and everything. Monica couldn't take anymore, and she asked them what was she supposed to do with all of this information. Mrs. Thompson asked Monica to try and get Lewis to reconsider, but Monica didn't know if she can do that because she loved Layla too. They hugged each other and Monica left. As she was getting in the car, her phone rang and it was Nate. Hello? Monica, can you get over here as fast as you can? It's an emergency. Lewis just struck me in the head with a Nina and stole $50,000 of my money. Monica made it to Nate's house, and he told her that the fight that he said that him and Tim had at the bar wasn't true. He told her that Lewis and his friend Freddy jumped him. Monica didn't believe it, but Nate said ever since that day y'all came over, Lewis has been accusing me of wanting you back. Although I did want you, I never came at him like that, but he wouldn't let it go. He started threatening me and sending me photos, trying to get me to photos. What are you talking about? Nate walked over to his computer and opened his gallery. He showed Monica the photos and the video. She couldn't believe it. She was so embarrassed. Nate said that he didn't want to show her, but he figured she needed to know. Monica apologized to Nate. Nate told Monica that he had hidden surveillance cameras in his home and he had proof of Lewis forcing him into the house and stealing his $50K. Monica wanted to know why would Lewis do something like that. Nate said that he didn't know, but if he would steal from him, then he would steal from her. He told Monica that she better check her accounts, and when she logged into her account, she gasped. Oh my God. Wait, hold up. I must have put in the wrong number because this cannot be true. There was a $50,000 withdrawal almost a week ago? Monica, it was him. It couldn't have been anyone else. What do you want to do? Normally, I would call the police, but since this is your fiance, I'll let you handle it. But you have to tell me what you want to do. Monica was in shock because she didn't want to believe that Lewis would do something like that. She told Nate that she would handle it and she would get Nate his money back. She apologized again and then she left. So Lewis, he made it to the bank, deposited the money, picked up Layla from daycare, and he was feeling a little better, but he was trying to figure out how was he going to tell Monica about all of this. When he pulled up, he was surprised to see Monica sitting on the front steps. He got Layla out of the car and she ran to Monica. Monica picked her up, gave her a lot of hugs and kisses. Lewis asked Monica what was going on. So Monica asked Lewis if he loved Layla. And Lewis wanted to know what kind of question was that. Well, if you do, why were you going to give her up for adoption? That question knocked the wind out of Lewis. He wondered how did she know about that, but then Patrice came to mind. That was almost a year ago before what? Before I came back into your life? Right. So I was sitting here thinking, how much do you really love me? Because it seems like since you knew that I couldn't have children, not having Layla would have lessened your chances of me wanting to be with you. And it makes me wonder just how much you love her if you were going to give her away. Monica, do you know how we were living? I could barely pay bills or buy food. So no, I wasn't planning on giving her up for adoption because I didn't love her. I was doing it because I love her more than myself. And I wanted the best for her. Then you came along and treated her like your own. I was only trying to do what was best for her. Okay. So where does stealing $50,000 from Nate play into this? Monica, you have to know what's going on. Nate was blackmailing Freddy. Oh, so that's why y'all jumped him in front of his son? Monica, he was trying to take you from me. And sending him those pictures and that video, was that supposed to stop him or something? Monica, you don't understand. You don't understand what kind of man you're dealing with. I know exactly who he is. I was married to him for 4 years, and I don't believe a thing you're saying to me. Monica, I'm telling you the truth. He did all those things. Do you think I would lie to you? Well, you stole from me, but I put it back. Okay. But you stole it from Nate to be able to put it back so that you could cover your tracks because you thought I would never find out. But I have. And now what, Monica? Monica, there is so much that you don't know, but we can talk about this and still have our life. Lewis, I don't think so. Lewis rubbed his hands down his face. He was crying, just face full of tears, begging Monica to believe him. Monica, I would never do anything to hurt you, but you threatened to pop Nate. Monica, I would never lie to you. All I want is for us to love each other, get married, and raise Layla. Lewis wrapped his arms around Monica and Layla, still in tears. Layla was getting scared, but Lewis told her that he was okay and that everything was going to be okay. But then they heard police sirens in the distance. Lewis hoped they were for someone else, but he knew they were for him. Two cars came to a halt in front of the house. Lewis Waters stepped away from the woman and the child. Lewis kissed Monica softly on the lips. He kissed Layla on the forehead and told her, baby, Daddy has to go with the police officers, but Monica, she's going to take care of you until I get back, okay? Layla was in tears, but she said, okay, Daddy. I love you so much, Layla. I know, Daddy. Lewis turned with his hands up. If you are armed, remove the weapon from your person. Lewis slowly reached behind his back, took the piece from his waistband, and threw it on the ground. 3 officers rushed towards him, threw him on the ground, and handcuffed him. Monica just pulled Layla in close to her and softly said, goodbye, Lewis. The next day, Freddy went to Nate's house. It's all over. You going to transfer the new house into my name now? Nate looked up at Freddy and said, you're not getting the house, Freddy. You didn't hold up your end of the deal. I told you not to tell anyone about what was happening, especially not Lewis, but you did. But I did everything. You had the money, Monica found out, and the police have Lewis. It all worked out, so I should get the house. No, Freddy, it didn't all work out. It just happened to work out that way. But there was not a guarantee that it would because you told Lewis. It could have messed everything up, so you get nothing. Well, just give me the deed to my house then, my old house, the one you promised me at first. That's the least you could do, considering I lost my friend behind this. Nate got up from his desk, started walking towards the front door as if Freddy didn't say not one word. Once he got there, he turned to Freddy and said, oh, I sold that eyesore to a developer who has made plans for new construction. He should be notifying you soon about when to vacate the building. You broke the terms of the agreement, Freddy. What? Freddy grabbed Nate by the shirt and said, that's my home, man. My father bought that house. It's the only place my family has to live. Nate pulled away from Freddy and said, you should have thought about that before you went running your mouth to Lewis. Now get out of my house before I call the police. Freddy couldn't believe it. He was sick as a dog. Now 3 weeks later, Freddy went to visit Lewis at the Cook County Department of Corrections. Freddy had written Lewis like a dozen times apologizing, and Lewis had finally agreed to see him. Lewis told Freddy that he had 5 minutes, and then after that to never contact him again. Freddy told Lewis that they were living with his uncle. Kia left him and she got rid of the baby. He started crying, but he turned away to wipe his tears. He told Lewis that he was going to get her back, and he was still going, to open their real estate company. Lewis really didn't want to hear anything Freddy had to say. He did tell him that Monica was thinking about adopting Layla, that court was coming up soon, but he didn't want Freddy there. He was about to leave, but Freddy told him that it was never supposed to go down like that. I never, ever meant to hurt you like this. You got to believe me. He held my family over my head. What was I supposed to do, Lewis? But listen, man, I'm going to make this right. He took everything away from me, Lewis, my home. I'm more of a disgrace to my mama. My girl left and got rid of my baby. And I lost you. I ain't got nothing to live for now. I swear to God on our friendship and the lives of Kia and moms, that mother is gonna pay. You believe me, Lewis? Do you believe me? Lewis just stared at him and then he finally said, yeah, I believe you, Freddy. Goodbye. Lewis hung up the phone and he walked away. After the arrest, the police had gone to Nate and Monica and asked them if they wanted to press charges. Nate said that he would support Monica, whatever decision she made, and she chose to press charges. After that, Nate urged Monica to move in with him, which she did, and she put her house on the market. The next evening, she was baking cookies with Nate and Nathaniel. And since she had just gotten in, she said that she was about to go take a shower and left the guys in the kitchen to watch the cookies. And she told them not to let them burn because Layla does not like burnt cookies. Girls like cute cookies. So Nate set Nathaniel in front of the oven because he liked to watch the cookies rise. Then the doorbell rang. When he opened the door, he was met with the barrel of a needle to his face. And holding it was Freddy. Nate coolly told Freddy that their business was done, but Freddy told him to step back into the house. Nate started walking and he was thinking, what could he say to calm Freddy down? So he decided to go ahead and offer Freddy the townhome. In his mind, he was like, the boy did seem like a bird to Lewis, but he did get Monica back. They were planning on getting married and Lewis was out of their lives. So the boy did deserve something. Nate turned around smiling and said, listen, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And before he could say another word, Freddy hit Nate 5 times. Twice in the chest, the belly, the thigh, and the right clavicle. Nate stumbled and looked down at his body and could not believe what he was seeing because that white shirt was turning red. Then there was a loud scream and Nate turned to yell, Monica, no! But the words came out like a whisper. Startled, Freddy blindly whipped the piece around, pulled the trigger, sending a piece of lead tearing into Monica's forehead. Her towel fell, her body was frozen for a minute, and then she fell on her belly. Nate was trying to make his way to the kitchen to protect his son, but his body couldn't take it. He just passed out on the sofa. Freddy looked at the damage he had done. He didn't mean to pop the woman. It was just a reflex move. But Nate, he was planning on getting him point blank, period. And he felt a strange calm fall over him. Freddy turned to leave when he heard something behind him. Mommy? Daddy? Freddy spun around and leveled the piece at Nathaniel, who was standing beside Nate, pulling on his shirt. Freddy held the piece on the boy as he thought about his own child who had been cut to pieces and vacuumed up out of his mama's womb. And it was all because of Nate Kenny. So the way Freddy saw it, hey, it's an eye for an eye, a child for a child. He applied more pressure to the trigger, but he couldn't do it. He lowered the piece, shoved it into his pocket, then he walked out of the door as fast as he could. And he was surprised that he didn't see anybody outside. All he heard was the sounds of the little boy crying as he ran away. And he knew that he had to get up out of that type of neighborhood before he started hitting the folks roll up around the block. He had to get gone. And that's the end of the $1 million deception. Y'all, what did y'all think about this? What did y'all think about book 2? You got to get down in the comments and let me know. Did y'all I know Freddy said he had nothing else to live for. And that Nate was gonna pay. But I didn't think he was gonna pay like that. And then he messed around and popped Monica. Baby, this is too much, honey. We're gonna roll on into the $1 million demise. That's book 3. And we're gonna see what they talking about, baby. Get down in the comments. Look, I really appreciate y'all. You know what? This is our own little book club, like I said before. And I appreciate y'all for being a part of this. I've been enjoying these book recaps and reviews, baby. And I'm happy that y'all say that y'all have been enjoying them too. So get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll talk to y'all later.